Hello, YouTube and Substack. I was here, just getting everything set up as always. Let me pull these guys here. Substack go live. Substack is live. Instagram go live. There we go. All right, Substack copy. Boom, boom. There we go. One person on Substack. We will have more. All right. Substackers unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. All right, guys. Excellent. Hey, Terry, Allen, Zia. Zia, you're first. You are first. All right, guys. We are good. Let me get my... All right, good. Good. Last little thing. Oops, let me adjust the... There we go. Last little thing is TikTok, but they're ready to go. There we go. I can do more light if we need... A little more. I don't like to go. Okay. I don't like to go too bright because it bothers my eyes. Oh yeah, we're having lots of fun news today. Actually, Trump got slapped down a lot today, which is actually quite fun. So that, oops, this is very loud. There we go. That's a little too loud. So that's going to be fun. Anyway, welcome all. Welcome. Is the war over? No. No. We're going to be talking about it. It's not over. No. Camera's flip. I just flipped the camera, right? I think I did. My warm ginger tea. Anyway, hello all. How are we doing today? I did good. Okay. I thought I just did, but this stuff, I never know if I've flipped it twice. Hey, Mama knows best from Washington. Let me put my fan on for my AC so it's not. So is Europe cooled down finally from the insane hot weather you guys were getting? Or is it still bad? There we go. Actually, I'm going to lower a temperature. It might get a little cold, but we'll see. Lower the temperature. Lower it a degree. Anyway, hey, Max House. Hey, Jonathan from Malta, living in Italy. There we go. That's right. I remember you. Stormy in Germany. Anyway, so hey guys, how are we all doing today? I've been doing warm tea all week. Again, it's a lot of sugar. I'm not sure I want to do this every day, but it is good for my voice, I will say. I could feel the warmth, making my voice more relaxed, which I really appreciate. Hey, user 684 in Indiana. Anyway, guys, welcome. We got a lot of news today. A lot of news about Trump getting slapped down, which is kind of funny. We're going to start with those stories just because. But remember that tomorrow we've got our coffee talk. My special show, Salut Martin à Montréal. We've got our coffee talk that I do every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time U.S. for TikTok, YouTube, Substack, Discord, paid monthly subscribers. So on TikTok, that means all the super fans. So join me tomorrow morning. Anybody who's a super fan, please do. But with no further ado, let's get rolling. So I very much appreciate your guys' gifts because I do this for a living. So thank you guys in advance. I will also try to thank folks as we go on. Certainly, any of the petting my dog as I talk to you. Any of the folks who do the bigger gifts, especially, I do try to do a shout out for the bigger gifts. So hopefully I manage that. Anyway, with no further ado, guys, let our community tiered up. I never know what that means. That's good, I guess, but I never quite know what that means. Shannon Nick. TikTok has funny things like that. Pedro in Finland. Hey Max, thank you. Max just got a goat. Which goat would you like, Max? Remember, we've got big goat, small goat, Halloween goat, Christmas goat, yodeling pickle, which we count as a goat for these purposes. Pickle. There, I was going to say, the pickle. All right, time for yodeling pickle. Hopefully the pickle is the battery should still be good. Oh, there we go. It's so obnoxious. I love how that's my favorite because you can hold the button down and it'll do something a little more annoying. It'll go long. That's why it went longer this time. When I hold it down while it's yodeling, it'll do the extra long yodel. It's kind of funny. I get a kick out of it. Anyway, so welcome everybody. John Arvos is here. We're going to talk about the news. We'll start with Trump news, of course. And again, Trump got slapped down a couple times by the courts today, which was very funny and very good. So we'll start talking about that. First up, the Kennedy Center. A judge ruled in the last couple hours that Donald Trump needs to remove his name from the Kennedy Center. Now, the judge gave them Trump 2 weeks to do it. Obviously, it'll be appealed in the meantime. We'll see what happens on appeal. But the judge said, I'm paraphrasing, the judge said, Congress gave the Kennedy Center its name and only Congress can change it. Now, it's possible because these Trump courts, like the Supreme Court, are literally nothing more than an appendage of the Republican Party at this point. But if they're doing their job, it is still entirely possible that even through the Supreme Court, they may rule and say, we love Donald Trump. We want to give Donald Trump everything. But naming the Kennedy Center is done by law, and you can't change it without changing the law. So let's see. Funny as hell. Trump already responded. Very angry tweet from Donald Trump. I literally, the tweet came out right before the show. I copied it for my notes, and I haven't even read it yet. So this will be my first time reading the Trump response to the Kennedy Center decision. Oh, the judge also ruled that a temporary restraining order on him shutting down the Kennedy Center for 2 years. Remember, he's going to shut it down for 2 years to fix it, but it's pretty clear he's shutting it down because everybody left. Like no performers want to perform there anymore. The judge temporarily ruled that he cannot shut it down because it looks like they're going to win the case against him. But so it's a temporary restraining order pending the legislation or pending the court decision. Thank you, Succeed. Very cool gift, Star Rocket. So shockingly, Trump writes, shockingly, a judge appointed by Barack Hussein Obama. Again, Obama's black, so Trump always has to make racist comments about him because he's a racist. A judge appointed by Barack Hussein Obama, Christopher Cooper, ruled that the Kennedy Center, which was going to close in early July for large-scale renovations and construction due to years of neglect, decay, and poor maintenance, and which was to be transformed by the Trump administration into the finest facility of its kind anywhere in the world, is not allowed to close for these renovations, which would not be possible to properly do without such a closure. Additionally, Judge Cooper ruled that the 36-member Board of Trustees, which unanimously voted to add the name Trump onto the former Kennedy Center, making it the Trump Kennedy Center, did not have the right to do such an addition, and the name Trump must be removed. Now, there must be more. That's all I got from the tweet. I'm going to look again. There must be more to the tweet because that's a little too normal for Trump. All he's doing there is reporting the news. And Trump, there's got to be some more racism and other stuff that I don't even know, the judge may not be black, but it's Trump. Oh, here we go. Here's more. There's more. Oh my God. Oh God. It's enormous. Oh God. It's enormous. Okay. Oh my God. I did not realize how long this crazy ass thing was. Okay. I'm going to have to put on my Trump wig for this to read I had no idea. It makes sense that it's this long. As I told you, I'm like, there's no way Trump didn't go insane. He went insane. I'm using my glasses for this one. The name Trump must be removed. The Kennedy Center has lost over the years prior to our getting involved a short while ago, hundreds of millions of dollars, in some cases, including ridiculous construction jobs that were done over $100 million a year. I don't know what that means. I took great pride in taking over a losing institution and look forward. Hang on. A losing institution and looked forward to making it into a great and prestigious winner for Washington, D.C., and indeed the United States of America. Unfortunately, Judge Cooper and the radical left would rather see it die, all caps, die, than have President Trump transform it into something that everyone could be proud of, much as I have done in many cases throughout my life, and recently with all of the construction renovations and fix-ups. Okay, a little weird. Fix-ups that we have completed with the Department of Interior on waterfalls, fountains, monuments, and other things of beauty that we have brought back to life in a now safe and secure, after record-setting crime, Washington, D.C. Yeah, the crime hasn't changed in Washington, D.C. at all. Hang on. Sasha, stop. I'm scrolling down. Therefore, based on the fact that the radical left Democrats care more about opposing your favorite president, me, all caps, than saving a dying performing arts center, almost all of which lose large amounts of money throughout the country. Kennedy Center was doing fine. We are going to be working with Congress to transfer this failing institution back to them so they can make a determination as to what to do with it. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what that means. That's interesting. That almost sounds like Trump acknowledging that he doesn't have the power without Congress. Very interesting. We are going to be working with Congress to transfer this failing institution back to them, Congress, so they can make a determination as to what to do with it. Judge Cooper was given a presentation by leading building and construction experts. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, sure. As to how structurally dangerous the building is without rotting beams, parking areas that are subject to collapse, and various other life and safety problems, in addition to the fact that it also needs a major renovation from an aesthetic standpoint. Yeah, not enough gay gold all over the place. An aesthetic viewpoint, but but he was not swayed and said he wants the building, capital B in building, because of course he's demented, to incredibly remain open and therefore dangerous. Judge Cooper should be ashamed of himself. Now we have the vapors part of Trump's thing. Judge Cooper should be ashamed. It's Susanna Sugarbaker or whatever her name was. He should be ashamed of himself. I cannot be involved with a situation where, what is he resigning? I cannot be involved with a situation where danger to the public is allowed to flourish in plain and open sight. He's handing it off to the Congress because you're asking Donald to take responsibility for something dangerous, and he just can't do that to the American people. Oh my God. I'm sorry, biggest queen ever. Hold on, we're scrolling down. Here we go. I love that. I cannot be involved in a situation where danger to the public is allowed to flourish in plain and open sight, but shooting people by ice in the face and killing them or the back, like Alex Peretti, that's totally okay. Unless I am free to do what I do better than anyone else, sexual abuse, bring this institution back physically, financially, and artistically, I have no interest in continuing what could only be a hopeless journey into Neverland. Does he think he's Peter Pan? All caps too. Neverland is all capital letters because that's what we do. He's such a fucking queen. There has never been a president of the United States who has been treated so unfairly by the courts as I. This can't be real. This is real. Aaron Rupar posted it. I'm like reading this going, there's no freaking way this is real. Now I have to do a video on this when we're done, guys. There has never been a president of the United States who's been treated so unfairly by the courts as I. Okay. Thank you for the fiddle. Oh, there is a fiddle gift. Thank you, Doug. By the way, he didn't write this, which is even more interesting. There's no way Donald Trump said there's never been a president treated as so unfairly by the courts as I. That's way too proper English for this dodo. There is zero possibility that this dodo wrote that. I thought he had his staff wrote it earlier. Because remember, earlier there was some reference to Trump that sounded like a staffer wrote it, referring to Trump in the third person. Some staffer wrote this, yeah. Which is interesting, though, because it means it wasn't a lunatic rant of Trump. It was literally intentional, right? There's never been a president of the United States treated so unfairly by the courts as I, but that's okay. What's he going to say next? That he doesn't want the Nobel Prize? Come on, you. Right? I love that. But that's okay. I'm not even done reading this crazy thing after all of that. But that's okay. I'm not upset. Oh, okay, Jan. No problem. But that's okay. I will continue to do what is considered to be a great job for the wonderful people of our country. I have instructed the Department of Commerce to make all necessary arrangements with Congress to allow a full and complete transfer of this institution, giving them the responsibility for its operation, maintenance, and management. What? What the fuck is he even talking about? I have no idea what he's even... yay. He's pissed. He's fucking pissed and walking away. Oh my God. That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is amazing. Oh my God. I'm giving it to Congress and they can deal with it. First of all, here's an idea. Right. I'm not fired. I quit. Exactly. Here's an idea. By the way, he's such a fucking moron. He thinks he just did something really like, oh, we're going to throw it in Congress's lap and they're going to have to do it. You are aware that like the Kennedy Center has a staff It had somebody running it, Rick Grinnell, who's an idiot, a MAGA idiot who just got fired. He couldn't even do the Kennedy Center, but it's got like a director running it. It's got a staff there. They literally run it, right? Under normal democracies, the president of the United States doesn't run the Kennedy Center. He appointed himself to run the Kennedy Center. That's not how it works. No president does that. No president sits there and figures out what stone they need on the monuments and what pillar, what color. He was spending all his time worrying what color the pillars should be at the Kennedy Center. Should they be gold or should they be white? No one does that. And the notion that, well, if Donald Trump, thank you, Maxine's, if Donald Trump isn't going to decide what color the pillars are, Congress will have to. As if he's punishing us or something. No, the people who run the Kennedy Center will simply decide what to do. That's not rocket science. The point is, he tried to break the law like he always does, right? It wasn't simply a matter of doing renovations, which, by the way, Congress, I think, had to approve and gave money for some renovations. It wasn't just doing that. He tried to shut it down because all of the acts quit, because he politicized the place and put his name on it. By the way, too, what this says to me, too, is somebody told him and said, we can't afford to have it closed down. That was a mistake. That's what this sounds like. This sounds like, yeah, we do renovations, but we've got to keep it open. And the only way to keep it open is taking your stupid ass name off of it. Thank you, son. This is really good. I'm loving this. I mean, I'm absolutely freaking loving this. I have to download this and save this. Or can I say, oh, I download video. Perfect. Oh my God. Oh, this turned into a much better story than I expected. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's totally pissed they're taking his name off. He's totally pissed. I care so much for the American people that you're making it dangerous for them. And I just can't have my name associated. By the way, how's that work, Donald? You care so much for the American people that you cannot afford to see them hurt by falling ramparts at the Kennedy Center because you care so much for them that you're going to walk away and let somebody else deal with it because you care so much. You think the Kennedy Center is going to fall down and hurt people, and you think the court is messing with that, and you care too. Thank you, Bluegrass. You care too much about the fact that you think the Kennedy Center is going to fall down and hurt people, so you've decided to walk away. Again, the problem is when you're a pathological liar, as I said, when you're lying, you're A, pathological liar, and B, not very bright. It's very difficult to write these things and say these things because he's a sociopath practically, right? He doesn't care so much about the American people. Please. He cares so much about himself, his daughter, maybe that Laura Loomer chick. I'm not sure, right? I mean, there's like a couple people. That's it. He doesn't care so much about the American people, but he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that if you were to say that you cared about the American people, your next word wouldn't be, I care about the American people so much that I see a project that could literally kill them because it's so dangerous and it could fall down that I'm going to walk away. No, Donald. You see, when you care about people and you think they're going to get hurt, the next step is not to walk away. You feel like you need like Donald Trump's humanity coach, right? Oh no, Donald, you don't walk away when you think people are going to be hurt. You don't say you're leaving them to be hurt because you care about them so much. That's actually not what caring is about. That would be caring about yourself and your pride if you walked away. Oh my God, that is fucking glorious. This is glorious. Oh my God, I have to do a video now afterwards. I did a lot of videos today. Absolutely glorious, this thing. Oh my God. I'm leaving it to Congress. Oh my God. Wow. Anyway, I'm reading the comments here. Well, that was fun. That was really fun. He's making me feel good today. I was already feeling good enough that the judge told him to take his name off and he just had a fit. Now, he's a pathological liar. So it's entirely possible that by Monday, he's going to change his mind and not walk away. But it'd be pretty cool if he walked away, you know? You don't see my videos? That's because TikTok maybe doesn't like me. I don't know. Sorry. Oh my. Well, that was fun. That was fun. Let's do more. New York Times, a federal judge barred the government on Friday from taking steps to launch Donald Trump's $1.8 billion slush fund for terrorists. Okay, I threw in that word. For now prohibiting the establishment of the fund, which is intended to pay people the administration finds were harmed by the federal government. The brief order by Judge Leon Brinkema of the Federal District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia prohibits the government from establishing the fund or processing disbursements, at least until a hearing is held in June and a pending lawsuit challenging its legality. Again, it's only temporary, but at least it's another thing. He got a double whammy of things today, and little dictator doesn't like to be told that he's breaking the law and can't do what he wants to do, right? You know, oh, I see Donald Trump's with us here today. I don't have a girlfriend. Okay, Donald, that's nice. Yeah, whatever. Well, mods, obviously just get rid of the person. Are the mods there? I assume the mods are there. Mods, we have a TikTok troll. Thank you, Blue. Yeah, that person should be blocked, of course. Thank you. Love you. I don't have a girlfriend. Does that work in other troll accounts? Like in other troll countries? Does I don't have a girlfriend actually get people to go, oh, wow, this is my opportunity. Somebody unknown is in the comments saying they don't have a girlfriend. Oh my God, is this my chance? Oh my God. Oh my God. This is great. This is freaking great. Hi, I know. Hello, you're fine. When the show starts, we can't do this. We can't do this, okay? Love you, but no. Once again, we're back to, I gave her treats a couple weeks ago during the show. So now, and of course, she's smart enough. I know, I love you. I know. She's smart enough that also she knows the show is on, my dog, because, you know, this is what happens. Okay, hi. This is what happens. Exactly, WC. All right, what else we got? Oh, a third story that pissed Trump off today, although this one's fascinating. ICE agent Christian Castro was arrested for alleged assault of a Venezuelan immigrant. So this is the thank you, Julie. This is the ICE agent who was charged earlier in the week with or indicted earlier in the week for allegedly assaulting a Venezuelan immigrant, shot him in the leg or something like that was the allegation. And the story it's a brief story, but the story today is, thank you, Brown Eye. We got a lot of gifts today. Thanks, guys. The story today is that the Minneapolis police or whatever were able to arrest him. And I was going, how the hell did the Minneapolis police arrest him? He clearly wasn't in Minneapolis, right? They would get them out of there as soon as possible. He was arrested with the help of the Texas Rangers. I forget what they actually are. Is that state police in Texas? I don't know. It's some state thing. Thank you, Blue. or it's a baseball team or some sports team, Texas Rangers. I know that. Football team maybe. But with the state police or whatever in Texas, and with the Inspector General of the Department of Homeland Security, Trump's own department. So it is state police. Thank you, Delaney. Trump's own state police. Baseball. Thank you. I knew it was something else, Aaron. I knew it was some. I'm not a sports guy, but I knew it was some kind of sports team, the Texas Rangers. The Minneapolis police or whatever arrested this ICE agent with the help of the Texas state police that are run by the Texas governor, who's a rabid MAGA Republican, and with the help of the Inspector General of the Department of Homeland Security, which is run by a rabid MAGA Republican. There is no way that they pulled this off without the governor of Texas, the MAGA Republican, saying, yes, let's do it, and with Donald Trump saying, yes, let's do it. This makes no sense. I don't understand what's going on with this story. There's something I don't get. I don't know. It's very strange. Now, it's possible. I don't know how the inspector, even though Inspector General is independent, Trump's going to fire them if they are. But then the Texas Rangers did it too. Maybe it's possible that the Texas State Police and the Department of Homeland Security Inspector General did this on their own without the governor and the Homeland Security Secretary and Trump knowing. If so, Inspector General of Homeland Security is going to get fired. She's absolutely positively getting fired, as is the head of the state police in Texas, I would argue, unless something's going on here. Hey, Tarad, something's going on. I hear you. I love you. I know, but not right now. Not right now. Anyway, that's for my dog, not for you people. I love you people too, but I love the dog more. Hey, okay. Oh my God, stop. We've got more CBD coming due to the degree that helps. I know, love you. You're fine. Iran. So some Iran stories, really, the Iran thing's pretty fucked up too. So Trump is, the deal that Trump, and I talked about this last night, the deal Trump is arranging with Iran is multi-step. There is no peace with Iran. Trump is continuing the, here's what he's doing. He got Iran maybe to agree to reopen the Strait of Hormuz for another 30 to 60 days. That's it. Supposedly there won't be tariffs on the ships going through because Iran was putting, $2 million a ship to go through there. Supposedly there won't be tariffs. Supposedly it's open to the world again the way it was before we attacked 2 or 3 months ago. But that's only for 30 to 60 days. Pending Iran and the U.S. negotiating on the nuclear program, and there's no way. NBC reported that we don't know if Iran laid any mines. Oh, that's interesting. Well, here's the problem. We are reportedly giving Iran sanctions relief, letting Iran sell oil, for example, to make billions of dollars potentially of money. In exchange for Iran opening up the Strait of Hormuz. But at the same time, we're ending our blockade of Iran. So help me out here. Iran stops blockading the Strait of Hormuz. We stop blockading Iran. That sounds like a nice quid pro quo, right? Well, the next thing is then Trump throws in possibly billions of dollars of oil revenue by lifting some sanctions on Iran. Why? I mean, mother of God, why? All this, hey, enough out of you. All right, stop. She's over by her food again. This is what I mean with the dog. She whines, and my dog's very old now. She whines, and you think she's hurting, except she's over by her food looking at it while she's whining. So she's not hurting. She's just hurting me. Trump's initial deal that he's announcing is to roll the clock back. To where we were before he attacked Iran 3 months ago. That's it. Okay? Iran lifts its siege. We lift our siege. The Strait of Hormuz is open. Iranian ports are open. That's where we were before he invaded. For some reason, Trump is throwing in, we're going to lift a bunch of sanctions on Iran's oil that have been there forever. Why would we do that? Right? Why? That means we're in a worse situation than before we invaded. Why did we even do this? Right? Oh, thank you, Tarad. What the hell is that? It is a kangaroo. Thank you. I thought it was a kangaroo, right? It makes no sense. He's putting us, we shouldn't have even invaded if this is what we're doing. So that's the first thing. We're doing. The second thing we're doing, potentially, New York Times says today, Trump is trying to figure out how to give Iran a lot of money. Now, Trump has been bitching forever about Obama. Obama gave Iran billions of dollars or he claims hundreds of billions or a trillion or something crazy, right? What actually happened was, as part of the nuclear deal that was working, that Obama did, he unfroze some of Iran's assets. We've got 24 billion or whatever it is of Iran's money frozen. And he unfroze some of it in exchange for Iran agreeing to the nuclear deal, right? Trump has lied about it from the beginning. Oh, Obama gave them money. Well, Trump's been negotiating to give Iran money the entire time. The New York Times was saying, but he's really freaked out about it. So Trump wants to make sure he doesn't give Iran money of their frozen money. But what he's trying to do is, and this is great, Jared Kushner suggested, how about an investment fund for Iran that the U.S. government backs? And the investment fund could be, the New York Times said, somewhere in the order of $300 billion. $300 billion that the U.S. government is going to help underwrite for Iran. I hear that and I go, you know what? What Strait of Hormuz, like what strait do I need to shut down for Trump's government to give me some attention, right? Like, can we all go and shut down the Strait of Hormuz next and maybe Trump will focus on America next? I mean, $300 billion, and this was Jared Kushner's idea, $300 billion. Remember they gave $40 billion to Argentina? $300 billion they're talking about giving to Iran. It gets even better. So the article went on and said, but Trump is really freaked out about because he criticized Obama so much that he doesn't want criticism to him. So in addition, so this is an investment fund, but Trump also wants to give Iran actual cash. He wants to give Iran cash, but he knows he can't because he's been criticizing Obama. So Trump has been talking to the Arab governments for them to potentially give Iran $20 billion. $20 billion. So the $300 billion is an investment fund. So you could try to argue, well, it's not quite cash, it's investments, right? Trump is trying to get the Arab governments to give Iran $20 billion because he thinks if the Arab governments because Iran wants money. And he goes, if the Arab governments do it and Trump doesn't do it, then nobody can blame Trump for giving Iran money when he criticized Obama for giving Iran money. And I believe this is a lot more money than the Obama deal. I don't remember offhand if it was just a couple billion or how much the Obama deal was. I can ask ChatGPT. Again, not always right, but let's see what ChatGPT says about that. And I'll ask it to double check. I want you to double check for me. How much money was involved with the Obama-Iran deal back in the day when we unfroze some of Iran's assets? How much was it? Was it, people are saying 1.7 billion. Was that the amount?
Yes, the 1.7 billion.
When you make noise, it gets confused.
So to clarify the numbers, the Obama administration did settle with Iran for 1.7 billion, which included 400 million in principal and 1.3 billion in interest from a pre-1979 arms deal. Separately, under the Iran nuclear deal, Iran gained access to roughly 50 billion in usable frozen assets.
That's the, okay, but that additional money they didn't end up getting, I thought. The additional money they couldn't use on weapons, they could only use on humanitarian stuff, and I thought then they didn't get it at all.
You're mixing a couple of things that often got conflated. The $1.7 billion settlement was a separate legal resolution. The frozen assets under the nuclear deal, when released, were indeed intended for general economic use, but there were mechanisms and other sanctions that still restricted Iran's behavior. So yes, there were limitations, but they did regain access to quite a chunk of their own money.
Did Iran get $50 billion of their frozen assets or not? Wait, maybe, I don't know.
Under the Iran nuclear...
Keeps doing that.
Under the Iran nuclear deal, Iran was estimated to have over $100 billion in frozen assets. After the deal, Iran regained access to around $30 to $32 billion of usable assets. While people often cite figures closer to 50 or even 100 billion, much of that remained restricted or less immediately accessible. In short, they did gain access to a substantial...
Okay, so they did get a big chunk. Okay, that's true. I mean, I still don't think it's wrong because if you want Iran to give up their nuclear weapons, we've been freezing their money for 50 years. We give them some of their frozen weapons. I don't have a problem with that. Trump is the one who does have a problem with it. Trump is the one who's been criticizing this and who is now planning on potentially giving Iran a $300 billion investment fund and $20 billion in cash from an Arab government. Oh, I know it's their money, but so was the Obama money. The Obama money was Iran's money, but you know, Trump could criticize that. What else do we have here? Let me see here. One second here. Iranian negotiators are sticking to their contention that Iran and Oman, whose territories border the straits, have the right to determine whether to impose some form of service fee for passing vessels after the 30-day period. This is interesting. So senior vice president of Exxon, Neil Chapman, some very esteemed accounts on Twitter were sharing this today. Senior vice president of Exxon talking about the oil situation now and how it's really not good at all. Listen to this. He wrote, commercial inventories of crude oil, of liquids, think petroleum, gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, they've all run down. And running down those inventories has mitigated or offset, supplemented by the release of strategic petroleum reserves, which most of the countries have done. A little confusing how he wrote it, but what he's saying is, even though we're running out of gas and oil in our reserves, like everything that's in storage, we were able to sort of deal with it economically because we were just that. We were running down the storage the gas and oil that was in storage, and we were running down the gas and oil that were in the strategic petroleum reserves that countries have. He says all of that has mitigated the impact. All of that has made it less painful to the economy that we don't have the oil coming out of the Middle East from Iran. You can model this. We've modeled it. I think a lot of people in the industry have modeled it. We're approaching unheard of inventory levels, meaning, hey, we're approaching levels unheard of in terms of how low the oil inventory is right now. I mean, really, really low levels. You can debate whether that's going to hit those really low levels in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Once you get to that point, then you'll see prices shoot up. I mean, I think dated Brent, most people, well, a model would say dated Brent will shoot up. Once you get to the really low inventory level, up to 150 or 160, I'm going to guess, I didn't look today, Brent is probably around 100, maybe even 95, I'm going to guess. It ain't 150. So it could go up 50%, oil prices, further in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The model would tell you that. And then what happens is when the price gets to a certain level, demand destruction brings it back in balance. Once the price gets to a certain level, people go, that's it. I can't afford this. Screw it, right? We're not driving. I mean, they literally just would say, I'm not driving anymore. I'm going to work at home, right? I'll cancel vacations. It destroys demand for gasoline, for oil. Plane tickets become too expensive, so people stop flying. They just won't go. So he says at that point, when prices hit 150 or 160 a barrel, then not a barrel, 150, 160 a barrel. The price gets to a certain level, demand destruction brings it back into balance. Prices get so high it becomes unaffordable, and that's what happens. And so we're at that level right now. Oh, he actually says we're getting to that level right now. And I think crude being in this sort of $90 to $110 for the last, whatever it is, 6 weeks, has really been mitigated by running down inventories. He's saying we're already at that level where demand is going to get destroyed. And once demand gets destroyed, then you've ruined the petroleum industry. We're already at the point where prices are so high that demand is going to get destroyed, but the inventories have been making up for it. We've been releasing extra gas, extra oil, and extra gasoline that we had in storage, so we haven't had this supply crunch yet. We're about to have it. He says that we'll see what happens. Predicting this is always a challenge, but that's the way we see the picture. Rob says Brent is at 91. Oh, interesting. So Brent is at 91 right now, and this guy's saying it could go up to 150, 160 in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Man, oh man, oh man. I know. I need to order some Uber Eats food. I've got to order it soon before the gas crunch comes. Very scary stuff. Stop stagflation. Is that true? CNN. This is interesting from CNN today, too. The White House has yet to release any results from Donald Trump's most recent physical exam, a break from its own past practice that's likely to fuel further questions about his health and fitness. Trump, who is the oldest president to be inaugurated, declared on social media that he was in perfect health following an hours-long visit on Tuesday to Walter Reed Medical Center. But despite promising to provide a summary of the checkup in the next day or so, the White House has since offered no additional information, nor has it confirmed that Trump's physicians plan at any point to offer a public readout. The 3-day silence marks a departure from the White House's handling of Trump's prior physical exams. You know what this reminds me of? The only other example I can think, because they said his previous physicals, they came out immediately with information, had the doctors talk. Now they're refusing. Now they said they would, and suddenly they're clamming up and not going public. There's one other time I recall where Trump's doctors refused to talk to us, when they wouldn't tell us what was going on, when Trump clammed up. That's when Trump almost died from COVID. He was literally dying in the hospital, and they didn't tell us. That's the other time that they refused to, and they don't tell us much of what's going on anyway, these guys. But the only other time that they literally clammed up and didn't tell us anything was when Trump was literally going to die from COVID. He was in that bad a shape. His blood ox was down into the 80s, I believe, which is incredibly dangerous, and then went to Walter Reed for a few days and was in incredibly bad shape. And they didn't tell us a damn thing. Now, for the first time in years, suddenly Trump's doctors are saying nothing. Suddenly Trump, who said, oh, we'll release my physical, got the results, and they're not saying a thing. Oh, well. I'm not worried for the man, but the American people have the right to know what's going on with him. Washington Post, breaking news. The Pentagon, oh God, this happened right before the show too. You know how Trump is building his UFC cage? What is UFC? I've never really understood this. Is it a boxing? Is it kickboxing? Like, what is it actually? It's not quite boxing though, right? What do you actually call it? Anybody? Mixed. Oh, it is mixed martial arts. Okay. I didn't realize that. It's mixed martial arts. Okay. Mixed martial arts. So it's kicking and everything else and all of that. Okay. Mixed martial arts. But they're building that big circus, the big thing at the White House for $60 million or whatever. So they can, Fight Club, exactly. So they can have the Fight Club fight at the White House. Listen to this. The Pentagon is moving to recruit hundreds of troops to appear as spectators at President Trump's UFC cage fighting event on the White House lawn and requiring those who attend to pay their own way. Oh, God, to pay their own way and meet height and weight requirements. He wants soldiers there so it looks good for whatever crazy reason. So he's ordering soldiers to show up, but he's making them pay their own way. It's like a lot of money to get a ticket to this thing. They've got to pay their own way, and they've got to meet certain height and weight requirements. Yeah, I'll bet that's not the only requirement they have to meet in terms of their physicality. Unfreaking believable. I mean, man, Young was in the description. Tree Robotai says Young was also in the description. Oh, I'm sure. Alexa, raise the temperature 1 degree. Unbelievable. Funny as hell, though. Bloomberg. The U.S. Justice Department is seeking the names, addresses, and banking information of Reddit and X users, Twitter, ratcheting up efforts to identify social media critics of government deportation efforts. The U.S. Attorney's Office for Washington, led by Jeanine Pirro, a close ally of Trump, has subpoenaed the social media companies as part of criminal investigations, asking for personal information on at least 2 anonymous posters behind accounts that have chided immigration enforcement efforts. The anonymous users who learned of the subpoenas from the platforms and hired lawyers to challenge the government's demands haven't been told what possible offenses are being probed. Trump is also having some kind of Great American State Fair. I didn't even hear about this. It's in Washington in a few weeks. Assuming it's not some, dear fatherland kind of thing. I'm going to go check it out. Why not? It's here in town. But they announced last night like 9 performers. I'm going to see if I've got I have the picture from earlier today. The performers have been dropping like flies. They announced the performers and everyone's dropping. Apparently, I also don't know. Apparently, they somehow, this was the latest as of this morning. Everybody with the red has dropped out. Vanilla Ice was hanging in there. And 2 guys I've never heard of. Well, no, CNC Music Factory, as I recall, and Flo Rida. Flo is apparently still in the mix, but a bunch of the others, he claimed Vanilla Ice, or no, Milli Vanilli. He claimed Milli Vanilli was going, and Milli Vanilli, what was left of Milli Vanilli goes, no. Brett Michaels is out, Morris Day and the Time, the Commodores, Young MC, and Martina McBride. Flo Rida. Okay, whatever. Flo Rida. Multiple Russian drones smashed into a 12-story apartment building in Galati, Romania. NATO jets were scrambled. Romania responded by closing a Russian consulate. And the Financial Times reports that Russia is on track to overspend its budget for the Ukraine war by $28 billion this year. Oh, God. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I think you're leaving. Yeah, I think you're leaving. I don't know what you are. I'm just going to assume that person was a troll on YouTube, whatever the fuck that was. Russia is on track to overspend. Oh, thank you, Julie. Russia's on track to overspend its budget for the Ukraine war by $28 billion this year, forcing plans for cuts to other areas as Putin's invasion takes an increasing toll on his own country, according to the Financial Times. All right. Woo, woo, woo. All righty. Let me. Thank you, Helena. All right. I'm adjusting my cameras and everything else so I can My tripod is kind of pissing. I have a tripod that the leg is getting lazy, and I'm not sure why, but it's kind of pissing me off here. I thought it was a Canadian troll. I hope Canadian trolls understand that when they make weird Canadian troll comments, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I even had a hard time figuring out if the person was a troll. It was like he was making some comment. Is that the Conservatives or something? I don't even know. I forget, Poliev or whatever his name is. Like, this is America. Making obscure Canadian references will get you nowhere trolling. Like, even Canada isn't sending us their best and brightest trolls. Literally, it was just bizarre. Anyway, okay, thanks for confirming. I figured it was a troll, but it was like a bad troll. He's the conservative leader. That's what I thought. Yeah. This was over on YouTube. I've got YouTube streaming as well right now. How much are the tickets for the UFC fight? I heard about it today on CNN, and then I forgot how much they said. I just remember the newscasters going, "Whoa, I'm not going to that." Anybody know how much they cost? I can ask ChatGPT to look. The problem is getting those tickets is also going to be impossible. So I don't even know if the $6,000 really. How much are the tickets for that UFC fight that's taking place at the White House?
A UFC fight at the White House. That would be quite a spectacle, but as far as reality goes, there's no such event happening.
Oh, excuse me. You might want to check the latest news. This is one of those times when you make a sad mistake and embarrass yourself, ChatGPT. Donald Trump they're literally building an entire stadium on the White House grounds right now. There's pictures everywhere. Google the news story and find out how much it's costing for tickets. It threw me at it, dude.
There actually is a UFC event planned at the White House. On June 14th, 2026, they'll hold UFC Freedom 250 on the South Lawn. It's mainly for VIPs and military guests, with only a few thousand seats on site. There will be around 85,000 free public viewing tickets at the Ellipse, first come, first served. No general ticket sales, but there are exclusive guest packages, reportedly as high as $1.5 million.
Who's the money going to for the $1.5 million?
For the UFC event at the White House includes a seat on the South Lawn, access to a private reception and weigh-ins, floor seats for another UFC event, and premium hospitality perks. The event itself will be on June 14th, 2026, and while thousands of free public viewing tickets will be available nearby, the on-site seats are largely invite-only.
Okay, stop. I asked you specifically who is getting the money from the 1.5 million VIP package. Is any of it going to Donald Trump or the Republican Party?
The $1.5 million VIP packages for the UFC event at the White House are being managed by the UFC's parent company, TKO Group Holdings. While there are concerns about corporate influence and optics, there is no confirmed evidence that these funds go to Donald Trump or the Republican Party. Some reports note Trump had investments in the UFC's parent company, but nothing confirms these packages are political donations.
Okay, and what are the perks that they're getting? The people who buy the $1.5 million VIP package? Does any of it include sitting with Donald Trump or meeting him?
The $1.5 million VIP package perks reportedly include a seat on the White House lawn for the fight, access to a private reception and weigh-ins, and floor seats for another UFC event. As of current reporting, there's no indication that the package includes meeting or sitting.
Who's going to the private reception and where is it?
The UFC event on the White House South Lawn is confirmed for June 14th, 2026.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you who is going to be attending the $1.5 million VIP reception. Who are the VIPs that are going to be there?
The specific names of VIP attendees at that reception haven't been publicly disclosed.
All right, it's kind of, see, sometimes boyfriend was not doing. I love the attitude. Oh, John, There wouldn't be a UFC. Actually, it was pretty funny. Even ChatGPT thought it was ridiculous that anybody would have a UFC fight at the White House. That was actually very funny. That was pretty funny. Oh, John, there's no UFC fight at the White House. Silly you. That was very funny. Oh my. Anyway. Yeah, ChatGPT that almost sounded like ChatGPT was like was carrying water for Donald Trump, didn't it? Like, well, it's like a robot working. I have no information on that. Sorry. Yes, there's going to be they're going to have a VIP reception. Yeah, I'm sure Trump won't be there, and I'm sure none of that money is going to Trump's son or him or anybody else. Very curious about that, if that were the case. Who knows? But I'd be very curious. He's not making any money off of this, and his family's not making any money off of this? Really? I don't know what that means about the IRS case. A lickmat or a Kong? She never really used Kongs. I don't know what a lickmat is, but she's never really used Kongs. Let me see here. I'm looking to see the news here. Oops. IRS. It pulled up irs.gov. Not what I was looking for. I was looking for IRS news. Oh. Okay. This is what you were told. My God. He's really... Oh, no. This is the one we talked about. Wait. I think this is the same story. No, this is either updated or a different story. A federal judge in Miami made a striking turnaround on Friday, reopening Trump's $10 billion case. Oh, wait a minute. Reopening Trump's $10 billion case against the IRS and saying that she wants to investigate grievous allegations that the hasty deal to resolve it was premised on deception. Ooh. The ruling by Judge Kathleen Williams was a significant blow to Mr. Trump, who had voluntarily dismissed the suit last week, and to the Justice Department. After the president withdrew the suit, senior department officials released a pair of extraordinary agreements that settled the case by establishing a $1.8 billion fund to compensate people who claimed they were hurt by Democratic weaponization. The deal also conferred lucrative tax benefits on Mr. Trump, his family, and businesses. Judge Williams' decision came in response to court papers filed on Wednesday by a bipartisan group of 35 former judges who urged her to bring the case back to life and dig into the details of the agreement to settle it. Before she closed the case, Judge Williams, an Obama appointee, had questioned whether the lawsuit presented an actual conflict that could be adjudicated. When she closed it, she noted there was no settlement of record, but shortly after, the Justice Department released its agreement for closing the action. In her brief but stern order on Friday, Judge Williams said that she wanted to investigate the circumstances surrounding Mr. Trump's efforts to settle the lawsuit in a way that benefited him and his allies, asserting that she was empowered to investigate serious misconduct in a case before her. Oh, interesting. Because the case was before her, she's saying if there was some kind of fraudulent misconduct or something in how it was settled, that's her domain. She says she was empowered to investigate serious misconduct in a case before her. She ordered Mr. Trump's lawyers to tell her by June 12th whether the case should be formally reopened because the court was the victim. I told you fraud, because the court was the victim of a fraud, and whether Mr. Trump had colluded with his own government to settle the case to avoid judicial scrutiny. She pointed to reporting by the New York Times that described how the IRS had prepared a 25-page memorandum outlining defenses against the suit that the Justice Department did not take up in court. Lawyers for the former judges hailed Judge Williams' decision. This is fascinating. I mean, I don't know nearly enough about the law here to know. But the problem is, I don't know legally what this does, like what the judge's case is here to reopen this or whatever. Very interesting. I mean, again, it would be insane under American law that we have no way to have a court oversee rank corruption in the federal government, in the executive branch. Can she, Deb, though? I don't know, because she can start over what? I don't know what a lickmat is. I mentioned to you, Caffeinated Sloth. She's had Kongs before. She doesn't love them, but I don't know what a lickmat is. Wow. Well, I mean, the problem you get is Even this is where she's going to say, you had a lawsuit by Trump. Now, this gets interesting. You've got a lawsuit that's potentially illegitimate because Trump is suing himself. You then have a settlement of a lawsuit that is equally illegitimate because Trump is settling the lawsuit with himself. That's fraudulent, and I mean that's arguably fraudulent and not a legitimate. So it's not a legitimate lawsuit, and it's not a legitimate settlement. So if the lawsuit isn't legitimate, how can the settlement be legitimate? That's the thing I don't know. I don't know whether. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, she's too small. I mean, I could give her stuff on peanut butter. I've given her Kongs with stuff inside, and she finishes them like in no time. I mean, I like the idea, but she finishes them in no time. Well, the question would be, for example, what are the rules regarding settlements? Are there any rules regarding settlements, right? Are you and I allowed to settle whatever we want? I mean, I guess, again, the problem becomes if the lawsuit was, and Trump filed the lawsuit, I think, while he was president, he filed the lawsuit against himself. So if the lawsuit is illegitimate, the settlement could be illegitimate because the government can only settle lawsuits with people who file lawsuits against them. I don't know that they can settle a lawsuit based on a fake lawsuit. And what I'm working with me here, what the judge is arguing is the department had already determined that the lawsuit was BS, that it was a fraudulent lawsuit. So if the department had already determined that they would have won in court because it wasn't a real lawsuit, then the settlement the department made was in bad faith. The department knew this wasn't a credible suit, but it made a settlement that requires a credible suit. Now, the problem is, I don't know whether judges can get into this territory or not. You know, the Supreme Court or somebody might say, look, all you need is a lawsuit and you can have a settlement. Lawsuits are not predicated on, settlements are not predicated on good lawsuits. Settlements are predicated just on lawsuits. It could be a bad lawsuit. It could be a losing lawsuit. But you decide, you know what? I don't want to go to court and risk the publicity. I don't want to go to court and risk the money. I don't want to go to court and risk even that 1% chance of losing would be horrible. I'm going to settle the case anyway, even though I think their lawsuit is BS. That would be the risk here. Now, the problem is, though, if you're the federal government reaching a settlement, and it's the same double dealing, that the federal government is reaching a settlement with itself. That, I don't know, this gets very interesting. I don't know, again, I just don't, I mean, I'm a lawyer, I went to Georgetown Law School, but I just, you know, you're getting into very specific aspects of federal law, you know? Well, you'd have to ask an attorney, but the problem is we need to ask an attorney who deals with federal law, not federal law, the law of the federal government. You know what I mean? Administrative law. Yeah, it's a very particular knowledge. Oh, sorry. Who does, Justice? Who are you talking to? You know, it's very. Oh, who is this? I mean, I've been following the woman who was the pardon attorney. She's very. Is that the one you mean though? She's very good. She follows me. We ought to get her on the show. Actually, she's very good. I like her. At Justice. Maybe that's her. Oh, I thought you kept saying at Justice, and I thought at Justice was the Justice Department. I was like, why are you telling me about the Justice Department? Let me look for her name and see if I can find it here. That might be the same woman. Her last name's Oyer or something, which is funny because it's like Oye, which in the law is very interesting. Let me see here if I can find this. La la la. Slow. There we go. Slow TikTok app. Slow TikTok app. La la la. There we go. Oh, that's. I think this is going to be somebody. Maybe it is her. Okay, I really don't want. What the fuck is that music coming up for? I'm just doing a search. I can't find this account. I don't think I can find this account. There is no TikTok handle at Justice. There's lots of people that call them. Oh, no, that's not her. Maybe. I don't think so. Nice try, whoever said TikTok handle was at Justice. That would be the account TikTok at Justice. Some little girl wearing pink clothing. So not exactly who we were talking about. I don't, guys, there's 10,000 people with justice in their name. What is the actual @ symbol of her account? You're also giving me names with spaces in them. That's not it. Yeah. Guys, I don't know what you're talking about here. Sorry, but the pardon attorney, Oyer, right? That's who we're talking about? The pardon attorney. Yeah, her account is not attorney die. That's not her account. I'm trying to tell you guys. There's no such account. To give somebody's TikTok account, you've got to give @ followed by a certain number of letters, and there are no spaces in there. Otherwise, you can't, it's almost impossible to find the account. What you doing, dog? What you doing, huh? What you doing? You want to go out here again? What do you think? Huh? Want to go out there again or no? No? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, sorry, I don't mean being, it's lawyer Oyer. Thank you. That's who I was talking about. Yes. She's a former pardon attorney at Justice. Yep. That's who I was talking about. Yeah, no, it's just, you can't give people Twitter account or TikTok accounts that are like, it would be like me saying the Aravosis report. No, when you give somebody my account, you've got to say @Aravosis, because the problem is lots of things can pop up. Yeah. Or attorney _ maybe that's what it is. Well, see, you're all giving different names, but you get the point I'm giving. Yeah, exactly. It has to be one name without any spaces. Otherwise, it's very hard to sort of find people. Justice was the name of the person suggesting it? Okay, I have no idea. Okay, that's fine. I don't know. Anyway, it's who I was talking about this entire time. Oyer, who's very good. Yeah. Lawyer Oyer, that is cute. Yeah. She's good. No, I was watching a video she did today that was terrifying that Carol sent me. But anyway, maybe she knows this. I don't know. Maybe she does. I'll have to check and see what she says. But it would be interesting to see what the Justice suggested it. Okay. Doggy, I know. Oh, now you want, okay. The dog wants water. I will give her. One moment. Water I will give you. Water I will give. Maybe even a small treat. There you go. All right, we'll give you a small one. Oh, yes. There you go. Small one. All right. Doggy gets her small treat. There we go. All right. Yeah, I would like to get her on the show. She's very good. I liked her. Because that's the problem is, right, you need somebody who's a specialist in administrative law, which is like the law of government. You know what I mean? She is a Yorkie Bichon, a Yorkshire Terrier and a Bichon Frise. And you guys know, of course, that whenever the trolls come on and offer you money, they are going to scam you out of your entire life savings. So you never, ever want to respond to a troll who's offering you money or whatever. It is bad news. Very bad news. Where's I was trying to find my Sasha picture to show you guys. She doesn't always like being picked up, but actually, that's a good picture of her. This was the picture that Manda or somebody, did Manda do this? I forgot. Was this you, Manda? Who did this? This was a great picture though of me and Sasha on like the Starship Enterprise, but that's my dog. It wasn't Manda. Yeah. It's an AI version, which is pretty close to her. This is her needing a haircut, but I still think it's a cute photo. That would be Sasha needing a haircut. But it's a cute one from a while ago. Was this? Yeah, this would have been this year, actually. It was a cute photo, though. But again, she's cute when she has a lot of hair, but sometimes it's insane, you know? But no, she's a cutie. Or I will show you last little picture of her sleeping, because she's very cute when she's asleep, because that's her asleep. Because she still looks like a puppy when she's asleep. She's like a little puffball, you know? Very cute. She's a cutie. Anyway, oh la 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 la, 707. Anyway, oh boy. But yes, what else is going on, guys? But yes, I did a good number of videos today on TikTok and everywhere, actually. Quite a number today. Oops. It pulled up lives. It pulled me into the lives. Anyway, God, the Kennedy. This is funny with all the lawsuits, but the judge reopening that is very interesting. I don't know. Like I said, I would like to know more about the judge's power, because it's very interesting that the judge is pissed off about the settlement. She's not wrong. I mean, it's incredibly corrupt. Incredibly corrupt. Yep, the judge ruled that his name has to come off the Kennedy Center, and that's right. I have to do my video on that too. Night WC. I have to do my video on that too. The Kennedy Center one, where Trump now says, "I'm leaving. I'm not going to deal with the Kennedy Center. I'm going to give it back to Congress and they can deal with it. I'm taking my ball and going home." It's like, you promise? I'm taking my ballroom and going home. He's pissed. He's had a bad day. This one too. Well, this one too gets very interesting about the settlement, because you want to go out there, or are you just being goofy? Here you go. Go on. There you go. There you go. There you go. Sorry. Her vision is like not great, so I always have to help her occasionally. One eye is kind of okay and the other eye is not. So I have to kind of like, sometimes she gets to the window. I feel terrible though. It's like, literally, I'm telling you, my mother was not this sick, but like, it's like a parent getting sick when you're kind of like, watching them get old. It's like, oh my God. What do you do? But yeah, he had a bad day today. Very bad day. But yes, I'm going to have to at least do a well, God, there's both of those. There's the judge reopening this, and what was the other one? Yeah, I'm saying that we got a ton of updates now. I mean, man. Let me look at this again. What was it? Oops, I'm looking at Sasha. Sasha was not what I wanted to look at, but thank you. There it is. Oh, right. The Kennedy Center one too. Right. Yeah, Donnie's had a bad day. Lots of court cases today that Trump lost, at least for now. But the judge ordered him to remove his name from the Kennedy Center. Trump is pissed and says, "I'm not even going to deal with the Kennedy Center. Congress can deal with it now." The judge is reopening his settlement that created the fund for the terrorists. Maybe I'll do a video on both of those. Maybe that's what I'll do. Yeah, RFK playing with the snake. I saw that. Yeah, he's going to be tweeting all night. He's going to be sundowning into like the way late into the evening. It's like, oh well, Donnie boy, sorry. Yeah, it was fun, D-Lau. Yeah, it was a large number of judges. That's what the case was that just reopened the settlement. It was the letter from the judges saying, which is smart too, because the judges said basically, you know what? We need to find the letter from the judges. That would be useful because the letter from the judges would lay out the argument. They would say, under the law, judges are allowed to do blah, blah, blah. They were basically writing her and saying, here's how you would do it. Let me see here. Letter from judges challenging Trump lawsuit settlement. Let's see here. Well, we know the judge launched the settlement. Oh. Bipartisan group of ex-federal judges challenges Trump 1.8. Oh, it was a lawsuit. Dozens of former federal judges have joined the push to thwart Donald Trump's creation. The bipartisan group of 35 judges filed a lawsuit in the Southern District of Florida on Wednesday, seeking to reopen Trump's legal case. Oh, so that's how they actually filed a lawsuit. I thought they just wrote a letter or filed a brief or something. The former judges said the settlement fund was a product of collusion and itself a fraud on the court, and urged the Miami-based federal judge to reconsider her 18th May decision to approve it. Reopening the case would, the lawsuit said, allow the court to commence an inquiry into whether the court was deceived, including with respect to the existence of an underlying case or controversy and any purported arm's-length negotiations undertaken to resolve. Well, she's right. If you didn't actually have negotiations to resolve it. Interesting. The filing said the judges argue that she may have been hoodwinked by the settlement, which was not yet a matter of public record, and had the authority to reopen the case because it was a product of fraud. Quote, the parties here dismissed this, parties here dismissed this case before the court could complete its inquiry into whether there was an actual case or controversy, and then cited their settlement of this case as the legal justification for looting the federal government. Right? Yeah, I'd still like to see more of a legal argument out of this. Yeah. It's interesting, but I honestly, I want to see the brief. Where is this brief? Is there a link to the brief? Lawsuit. That's going to be another article, though. Oh, no, that's the lawsuit. Oh, that is the lawsuit. Ooh, that's nice. How many pages are in this lawsuit? Oh, 13 pages. We can read that. Hang on. Let's look here. Although it may just allege the fraud and whatever. Let me see here. The court expressly noted in its order dismissing the case that the notice does not reference any settlement or include a stipulation of settlement, and thus there is no settlement of record. The court further noted that defendants neither submitted any settlement documents nor filed any documents ensuring that settlement was appropriate where there was an outstanding question. The court was deceived. This is the lawsuit filed by the judges. The court was deceived. Despite plaintiffs not having mentioned any settlement in their notice, the Department of Justice publicly announced a settlement of this action shortly after plaintiffs filed their dismissal. That settlement, $1.7 billion, anti-weaponization fund. The parties to this case are using this lawsuit as the legal justification for these actions. This is not just speculation. Oh, I see. Hang on. The plain language of this extremely broad provision sweeps an internal extraordinary benefit. I'm trying to see here. I don't know. I may have to read this later. The settlement agreement was signed by the Associate Attorney General. None of the parties filed either of these documents in court. Movements submit that this settlement is a product of collusion and is itself a fraud on the court. But the court need not decide that ultimate issue now. At this juncture, movements request only that the court exercise its power under Rule 60 to set aside its order ending the case based upon plaintiff's voluntary dismissal. This will allow the court to commence an inquiry into whether the court was deceived, including with respect to the existence of an underlying case or controversy and any Oh, no, that's interesting. That actually does get interesting. What if, and again, this is a question for lawyer Oyer. What if you file a lawsuit that you know is bogus and you file the lawsuit against yourself like Donald Trump did? He sued himself and he knows the case is bogus. And his plan is, the same way, but put it for the judge. His plan is to file a bogus lawsuit, and before the judge can say it's bogus, reach a settlement on his lawsuit worth billions of dollars. You used that judge and that court to commit fraud. You filed a bullshit lawsuit with that judge, knowing that it was a bullshit lawsuit and that your intent was to immediately end the lawsuit and settle it so you could use the court as cover for the billions of dollars you wanted to take. That's where the fraud, I'm working this in my head here. Again, Georgetown lawyer, I'm not an idiot, but I don't deal with administration law, admin law. That's where I'm kind of going with this, right? Is that the entire lawsuit was a fraud. That he knew he was suing himself. That's fraudulent. He knew the case was bullshit. There was nothing to it. That's fraudulent. Well, not bullshit, but that he was suing himself. And the whole idea was he brought a bullshit case knowing it would get thrown out, but knowing he would settle it first. And that in order to take almost $2 billion from the federal treasury, he had to have a lawsuit that was going to be settled. So they used a bullshit lawsuit that wasn't real, that was a fraudulent lawsuit to get this money from the federal government so that the settlement with the government itself was a fraudulent settlement because it wasn't based on a real lawsuit. It was based on a lawsuit that was I'm going to sue you and then drop it so you can give me money, right? I mean, it would almost, think about it this way. It would almost be like if you were embezzling money from a company and you said, hey, Mr. Private Company, Mr. Corporation, I'm going to sue you. It's going to be just some bullshit, right? I'm going to sue you. And then we're going to settle the suit. You're going to give me $1 million and I'm going to, Mr. CEO of the company, and I'm going to give you half that money, right? That would be the idea. And saying, well, no, I'm allowed to sue you for anything and you're allowed to settle for anything, except it was all collusion behind the scenes. Anyway, I'm just working on this. I don't know for sure, but that's that. The problem is either that is or it isn't a problem. It doesn't mean it's a problem just because it sounds just because it's scummy, right? It doesn't mean that legally, I mean, the court could still say, I mean, the appeals court could say, or the Supreme Court could say, that's not how lawsuits work. You're allowed to follow a bullshit lawsuit. And if the other party, as I said earlier, if the other party's like, I think your lawsuit's BS, but I'm afraid, what if there's a small chance you win? It was for $10 billion. If you were to, you can always get a crazy jury. If we got a crazy jury that gave Donald Trump $10 billion, it made more sense to give him $2 billion for this fund than risk $10 billion, right? I mean, a court could say, we can't intervene in that. Of course, Donald Trump sued himself, which is the ultimate in scam right there. Anyway, all right, guys, it's 7:19. So that's my thinking. I don't know. I'm going to read the brief from the lawsuit filed by the judges. Very fun, though. I'm glad they're at least giving Trump a hard time here. Very interesting. But yeah, maybe I'll do one final video tonight about, the problem is I don't want to lump both of these cases together. Maybe I'll read it first and see about doing a video. Very hard stuff. All right, guys, have a good night. I'll see some of you tomorrow at 11 o'clock or 11:05. I've got my Greek class in the morning. I've got like 2 more Greek classes, I think. 1 or 2 more. And then I've got to decide if I'm taking another Greek class or not. I don't know. Maybe. My Greek is better. It's hard, though. I don't know if I want to do another one, but we'll see. We shall see. Hopefully, I'm hoping she breaks until the fall. Maybe she's got classes. I don't know if she's going to break until the fall or not, or whether she's going to keep going. I wouldn't mind if she took a break until the fall, but we'll see. Anyway, all right, guys. I'll talk to some of you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. The paid supporters, super fans, etc., and everybody else. Thank you for the hat and mustache there, JPT. And otherwise, I'll see you guys on Monday. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. All right. Discord. Yeah, I hate doing videos this late, but I don't think I have a choice. This is sounding too important. All right. YouTube, etc. Goodbye.